You have to unmute yourself, brother. Going once, going twice. I can't hear Mark Bertinoli. All right, so here what it is this evening to get you guys ready for this. For the first time since 2022 and just the second time in sports history, one city has competed in a Game 7 in both the NBA and the National Hockey League on the same day. The Dallas Stars and the Dallas Mavericks both had that opportunity just 3 years ago. The Stars lost in Calgary 3-2 in overtime after giving up 67 shots, with the late Johnny Gaudreau getting the winner in overtime for those Calgary Flames, while the Mavericks upset the top-seeded Phoenix Suns thanks to a 35-point double-double from Luka Doncic, obviously no longer in the Lone Star State there with those Dallas Mavericks. All time, your Denver Nuggets are 4-4 in Game 7 situations, looking to make sure that they get up above 500 at 5-4 tonight in front of the friendly confines at Ball Arena. Again, 5:35 tip, a 5 p.m. pregame show right here on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5 with Mark Bertinoli on the pregame. Jason Kosmiski will have tip at 5:35 out there at Ball Arena, and then a special broadcast with Connor McGahee and Mark Mosier tonight, 6:20 puck drop, and a 5:30 pregame show with yours truly starting on 9:50 a.m. Avs came off of a huge Game 6 victory. They throw 48 shots on goal against the Dallas Stars and Jake Ottinger. Some scary numbers to look at for Jake Ottinger this evening. He has played in 3 Game 7s in his career in the playoffs, and he has been sensational in all 3 of those Game 7 opportunities. Looking at those 3 of them, he is 2-0-1, that O, no regulation losses, that 1 in overtime loss that we just mentioned against the Calgary Flames 3 years ago. In those 3 career Game 7s, a .956 save percentage, a .171 goals against in those 3 games. Again, told you guys we're going to be joined by all of your favorite Altitude hosts this evening for this hour ahead of these dueling Game 7s. Vic Lombardi, can you hear me, brother? Vic going once. Andy, we got you live? Yes, no, maybe so? We'll try and make sure that we get these Wi-Fi issues fixed as Vic is inside Ball Arena. Andy's trying to join from his home right now, but I have no audio. I can't hear these guys. We'll try and get him joined via Zoom for this playoff preview. Again, Ottinger, 3 games, 2-0-1. He's won both of his games against the Colorado Avalanche in elimination settings. Obviously, those couple of empty netters at the end of Game 6 for the Avalanche, huge. But the second period was something that was mind-blowing, where it was arguably the best second period that the Avs had all season long in terms of shot production, in terms of grade A scoring opportunities, but giving up 4 goals on the opposite side for the first time in NHL history in the playoffs. A pair of teammates had dueling 4-point outings in the same period. One of them, Roope Hintz, his fellow countryman, the Finn, and former Av Mikko Rantanen doing the same with 1 goal and 3 assists in that period. They go down 4-3 with their backs against the wall, and Peter DeBoer did get very upset about the calls that did not go his team's way in the third period. A missed cross-check on Tyler Seguin, a phantom, apparently, interference call that he wasn't very pleased with in that third period. The Avs still only 3 power play goals in this postseason against those Dallas Stars. They're ultra-aggressive on the power play. You have to find a way to get one of those gone tonight. We did see a taped-up Cale Makar in terms of his hand, his right hand. That's his bottom hand as a right-handed shot this evening. Andy, Todd, or Sanford, do we have you guys? Can I hear you? Going once, twice, 3 times. Can't hear you again. We'll try to have Jordan Berg fix that one back out at the studios. But Cale Makar does get his first goal. It's that second empty netter in Game 6 for the Avalanche there. Hopefully that opens up the floodgates. But with a bottom hand, which is typically going to make sure that your accuracy in hockey is on point. Most of your power is going to come from that top hand and your lower body. That bottom hand is probably one of the main reasons why you see him missing the net 4, 5, 6, 7 times a night against Ottinger. He does also have Cale Makar's number. We've seen multiple times where he's had grade A scoring opportunities in between the hash marks going up against the Stars this year. I firmly believe if Kale does not score in tonight's hockey game, you are up a creek without a paddle. You have to have your best players performing at the most important times of the year. You've had that from Val Nichushkin in Game 6. You certainly have had it out of Nathan MacKinnon with 6 goals in this series. He could become the 4th player in Avs history to have as many as 7 goals in a single 7-game series in the postseason. If he scores just 1 tonight, if he scores 2, he'll have the most goals all time in a single playoff series for the Avalanche. He has to be at the top of his game. Obviously, with Mackenzie Blackwood giving up 4 goals in the last game and seeing another 4 go in that pivotal Game 5 in Dallas, has to find a way to be a little bit better, certainly when his team is pressing offensively and there's more 3-on-2 and odd man rush opportunities coming back the other side. In terms of the hardwood tonight, I feel confident about the Denver Nuggets. I feel confident for 2 reasons. One, you are at home. More often than not, you get that home court advantage. You win Game 7s. I still firmly believe that the 20-point debacle from last year against the Minnesota Timberwolves was an anomaly. I don't expect that to happen again. The other thing that you got going for you, and this is odd, I suppose it's a little bit of reverse psychology here, but 2, I'd call it mediocre games from Nikola Jokic going back-to-back in Games 5 and Game 6. Yes, he had a triple-double in Game 5. Sure, he put up north of 25 points in Game 6. It still has felt like it hasn't been the full Joker experience, and I don't expect that to happen 3 games in a row for the Nuggets. I expect him to be at the top of his game. Do I need another 40-point outing from Jamal Murray? No. Do I need 28 points from Michael Porter Jr., who's playing with 20% of a left shoulder right now? No, I certainly do not need that. Andy, can you hear me? Try talking to me one more time. Still try and get you guys connected to get all of our altitude personalities jumping in. It should get Andy Lindahl, Nate Kreckman. We should have Mark Mosier, Connor McGahey, Mike Sanford calling in from Las Vegas. Vic is inside Ball Arena. We'll do our very best to get rid of these technical gremlins to have all these guys join us throughout the evening. But as I said, it's the first time since 2022 that we've had one city have dueling Game 7s. Dallas split both of those. They had a win from the Dallas Mavericks. They had a loss from the Dallas Stars in 2022. It does feel a little bit different right now than the Black Monday of last year felt. Without Val Nichushkin for the Avalanche, you were missing a big-time, big-bodied player that is built to play against those Dallas Stars and get in front of net. He's here. Gabe Landeskog, after missing 3 years, north of 1,035 days prior to coming back in Game 3 of those first-round playoffs this year against the Dallas Stars, he has turned back into a $7 million plus player, which no one thought was going to happen this year. Absolutely nobody thought that he would step right back into this lineup and be the same exact point-per-game player that he has been for his entire career in the postseason. I think that makes a huge difference when you're going up against a Peter DeBoer team, and famously undefeated 8-0 all time. He's the only player 8-0 all time, or rather the only coach 8-0 all time in Game 7s in the National Hockey League, and there's a reason why. The formula of running 4 lines consistently, the formula of having bigger-bodied players that don't rely on just a top line or skill players or finesse players to get this thing done, allows you to find a way to win these types of games. I believe that the Avs, and it's not just because that they have this playoff mentality and this playoff motto of built different. I do believe that they are a different hockey team this time around. You have multiple 6-footers down the middle of the ice. You have a fourth line that feels much like the fourth line did back in 22 when they won on that Stanley Cup run. You have responsible players that are willing to do both things as we head on out to the Ramos Law Hotline, where we are joined by Andy Lindahl on the hotline. Andy, what's up, brother?
All right, do you have me this way?
I finally have you on this one. Thank you. What's up, man? How you feeling today? I've been a basket case of anxiety since the moment I woke up. Or woke up, rather.
Yeah, I heard you talking to Connor before Game 6, Raj. I think you and I probably share the same emotions, which is probably not good for you and I being at Wright House tonight, but we'll get through this as best we can. It's the past haunting you, right, when it comes to the Avs. It's the past that haunts you. Look, I think the Nuggets can get by tonight. I really do. I think the home crowd should take them on to victory if they can all just shoot better than they did the other night. But if I have to be honest with you, and I'm curious if you feel the same way, when it comes to raising a trophy and having a parade, I think the Avs are the team that gets us there. We've all seen the flaws in the Nuggets roster. I think they can get past this one. I don't know that they can get past OKC. And if they were to pull the miracle there, I don't know if they can get past Minnesota, who would be my guess no matter who they face out of Golden State and Houston. So my nerves come from knowing the Avs have not slayed the DeBoer Dragon and the fact that I think they are the team that possess the ability to go all the way if they can just get over this hurdle.
I don't know how much the history plays into it. I asked John Mitchell that prior to Game 6 when the Avs had to win. Does the past years of Peter DeBoer beating Jared Bednar 3 times in a row in the playoffs, does that go into the mind of a player? And Mitchie went, honestly, it shouldn't. And honestly, when he played, and I know Mitchie played 17 or 18 games in the playoffs, he did play multiple Game 7s. He said he never had that type of feeling of going, well, we didn't beat them last year, so that means we can't beat them this year. How valid do you think that is?
Well, I hope players don't think about the past, right, Raj? That's for media and fans to think about. So I think it's valid that they feel that way. The problem, though, is that I've seen the DeBoer system keep the Avs uncomfortable. I've seen the DeBoer system not allow that, east-west passing that Lyles and Mitchie talk about so often that the Avs like. And how many times have you and I talked about passing the puck in the net? You can't pass the puck into the net. I will say this, though, Raj, especially with their top 2 guys out. Look, man, if they can just fire away like they did the other day, put pucks on net, take shots. We've heard Bednar say this over and over and over again. Don't get pretty. Don't look for the Sports Center highlight goal. Just shoot at Ottinger because they caused chaos in front of him in Game 6. And look, some of the chaos was stupid, and it led to goals for the Avalanche, but that's okay. Just get the pucks on the net. Go crash the net. Put Gabe to work. Put Val to work. Put your big bodies to work, and I think they'll be just fine. There just have been times where I feel like they play that way one game and then they won't go back to playing that way the next. So I hope they just keep it simple tonight because I do believe they're the better team. I really thought they'd get it done in 6. I don't like Game 7s because anything wacky can happen, especially in hockey. So we'll see where tonight takes us.
Isn't that inconsistency what's bothered us a lot about the Denver Nuggets over the past couple of years? That it seems like you've got that championship starting 5 from a couple of years ago, and there's certain games where they look unbeatable, and then you go on these stretches where it's like, are you even a non-play-in team at this point? Do you feel the same way about the fear of inconsistency going into Game 7 tonight at Ball Arena for the Nuggets?
Yeah, because, again, we just don't know which Jamal Murray we're going to get. If you get the Jamal Murray of Game 5, who's free-flowing, having fun, in his bag, you can tell he's enjoying the moment. He's shooting well. The 3 ball's falling. Scott Hastings has said to me over and over and over, Raj, and I don't think I really believed it until I watched these last couple of playoff games. Nikola Jokic is the Nuggets' best player, but Jamal Murray is the emotional meter for them. And when he's feeling good and he seems loose and he seems relaxed like he was in Game 5, everybody else seems to be feeling themselves too. But if he's uptight and it's hard for him and it looks tough, then it feels like the other couple, it feels like maybe Gordon and MPJ follow along there. So hopefully Jamal's feeling good and that consistency you talk about will get him to the next round.
That's the voice of Andy Lindahl. He's going to be down here at Ryan House, 1415 Market Street in Denver, hanging out with me the entire night. A special Avs and Nuggets viewing party. We're giving away a bunch of signed photos of your favorite Avs and Nuggets player, a signed Jamal Murray jersey that I see on the table about 15 feet in front of me, as well as a signed stick from Nathan McKinnon. If you guys want to win those, you have to be here at Ryan House all evening long. Make sure you get in, go see everyone at the promo table, sign up, sign in, stay, and win some awesome prizes. Only us at Altitude Sports Radio can get you guys that type of signed Avs and Nuggets swag. On the other side, we'll take a quick break. Darren McKee, D-Mac, and Berto are going to join us with our Altitude All Hands preview of dueling Game 7s right here on the playoff home for your Nuggets and Avalanche. It's Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. Welcome back to Ryan House, 1415 Market Street in Denver, ahead of 2 Game 7s for the Nuggets and Avs. Let's head on out to that Ramos Law hotline where we are joined by D-Mac and Berto. Fellas, same place, different locations. How we feeling?
I think, point it, do you want to hear from me or Berto?
Just keep talking, D-Mac. Go for it, brother.
All right. Just got out of David Adelman and Ty Lue's pressers. Ty Lue's turning 48 years old today and did not know he was 4-0 in Game 7s. So there's that. He was asked about his starting lineup, and he would not give away the cookies, but we all can sense that it'll be Batum not done. We think that's what it'll be, and we shall see. Meanwhile, David Adelman said the adjustments about Batum, they're aware of them. They'll make them, and he feels his guys are confident for Game 7. So no gargantuan breaking news, other than both teams seem to be in pretty good shape and ready for this one, Raj.
Ty Lue, undefeated in Game 7s, apparently didn't know that. Do you get the same thought that Peter DeBoer doesn't know he's undefeated in Game 7s?
Yeah, I think Peter DeBoer is well aware of his record as he's proudly. I think he's got a tattoo of it. He's got like a tramp stamp of it. So, yeah, no, I think that's a different story. But, yeah, man, I mean, it's cool here. They got towels. Berto's got a good vantage point of it, I know, and they got the 5280 red towels against the white towels in the lower bowl, and the guys are warming up here. I can give you a little bit of a little something there. I can turn it around a little bit there and just show you some guys warming up. There's Zubac. We just let the ball get away. That'd be good.
Those are some ants on an ant farm. I can see that from there.
All right, that's good. I can't zoom in, but you get the idea. You see the arena, you get the idea of what's going on, yeah.
Berto, you're the coolest cat in the kitchen every single day here at Altitude Sports Radio. Are you as anxious as I am? I've been pacing all damn day. Man, tell me you are cool as the other side of the pillow.
No. I'm not right in the mind right. No. I'm not. I don't know how to feel about it. Like, I just want the game to start. It's the waiting around that sucks. Like, I need this game to go. I need it to start. And now I'm trying to figure out, hey, D-Mac, how you watching this?
Yeah.
You're here with me, man. How you watching this Avs game? Because we got to get the Avs game, too.
I watch it on my laptop, Berto. I've got every freaking thing that you can imagine.
I know. No, me and Bach are sitting here. We're looking at you. You basically took your whole living room and now it's put it here on the press level at Ball Arena. Bro, you got a tripod. You got your microphone. You got your laptop. Man,
got it all, buddy.
You brought it all to Ball Arena.
I bought it. The hard part was getting the refrigerator in here, but, whatever.
Yeah, that's the most connected guy in all of Denver sports. I was saying it's the first time since 2022 that we've seen the same city have dueling Game 7s, and just the second time in the history of North American sports in the Major Four that we've had Game 7. So Dallas is the other city. Back in 2022, they had the Mavericks go up against the number 1 seeded Phoenix Suns that year, and then you had that dueling with the Dallas Stars going up against the Calgary Flames. Jake Ottinger in that game stopped 64 of 67 Flame shots, except for the final one that goes in off the stick of the late Johnny Gaudreau. Is it more likely that we see 2 wins, a split, or 2 losses tonight, D-Mac?
It's more likely we see a split, and it's more likely that split goes the Nuggets' way than the Avs' way. But you're just asking me what's more likely, okay? So if I'm going off the fact that DeBoer is undefeated in Game 7s and then the Avalanche have lost 6 straight, Bednar's never won one, McKinnon's never won one, and we got home court here with the Nuggets, you're just asking me what's more likely. What's more likely is 1-1.
Oh, but you just told me that Ty Lue hadn't ever lost a Game 7, so it doesn't matter for Ty Lue, but it matters for Peter DeBoer?
Are you trying to start a fight with me on the biggest day ever in Denver sports history? I don't know, Raj. How about this? Geez. Here's the irony here. If the Avalanche could somehow get through today, I think they're on the way to the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
I think if the Nuggets get through today, we'll have our hands full, to say the least, with Oklahoma City. So the tougher path is probably for the Avalanche, but it might be the more rewarding one. So it's a complicated set of circumstances here today, guys.
Isn't that crazy to think about, Berto, is that the path is actually exactly the same for the Avs as it is for the Nuggets. Now, there is a Game 7 coming up tomorrow between the Winnipeg Jets and the St. Louis Blues, but let's say chalk goes through and the team that has played at home in that Winnipeg-St. Louis series wins every game, which is what has happened through the first 6. The Avs would then have to go on the road to the best team in the NHL for the regular season, much like if the Nuggets win tonight, they'll have to go on the road to the Oklahoma City Thunder. But we act like the Avs have this like cupcake schedule for the rest of the postseason if they win tonight, Berto.
Well, it feels completely different because Oklahoma City rolled through the first round. They swept. They cruised like
It wasn't even close.
It was like they rolled. They smashed Memphis in 3 of 4 of those games. I mean, big blowout wins. While the Winnipeg Jets are sitting there doing that struggly thing against St. Louis, who is a wild card team. So it just feels like the Thunder are a monster that you're going to have to deal with, and the Winnipeg Jets are just another team in the West right now, especially if Hellebuck is going to continue to be playoff Hellebuck, where he just doesn't look like regular season Hellebuck. You know what I mean?
Let's welcome in the coach, Mike Sanford, live from Las Vegas, Nevada. Where are you that you got this nice little perfect studio booth set up? That is lucky guy. Can't hear you. Are your AirPods taking over again on the audio, Mike Sanford? Try that again. Try one more time as we try and get
sun's
the
out,
coach.
guns out for Sanford, bro.
Well, he's out there. He was at a golf tournament for his dad, who's finally retiring from like 45 years of coaching. He was out there in the sun. Sanford, what up, brother?
What is going on, man? I'll tell you what. Are you guys as nervous as I am?
Yes.
Because the way that I'm passing this nervous energy time is I'm by the dadgum pool and I'm drinking 1 margaritas, Raj. Just
one margaritas! You give
That's
me
it,
one
baby.
margarita. I don't know if I can finish that lyric on the air. But, yeah, all of us are basket cases right now. We've been talking about how, well, the easier path to a championship seems like it's the Avs as long as they get through tonight's Game 7 as compared to the Nuggets. Who are you feeling better about this evening, Sanford? Just tonight. Just one game, one night.
Strangely as it sounds, I have to say the Denver Nuggets. Because at the last games 4, 5, 6, and 7, it just in both of these series, home ice, home court advantage has mattered way more than I thought it would. And a lot of times it's overrated in terms of home court advantage. I think the Denver Nuggets and the 2 most important players for this organization are going to step up tonight. And it's going to be the 2-man game that is going to close out the contest and close out the series. And that's going to be Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. And I have all the confidence in the world that those 2 are going to have performances synced up for the first time really all series long, that they're both playing at their greatest level.
Coach, tell me about orchestrating as a head coach a do-or-die game, right? Most of the time in the NBA, in the NHL, you have time, whether it's an 82-game regular season or the fact that you have 7-game playoff series. As a football coach, when you get into the end of the season, whether it's a conference championship or a bowl game, it is one and done. How does that change from the regular season to a one-and-done game, and does it translate to the NBA or the NHL?
I think so. I've had 2 experiences in my college coaching career where we played at the tail end of our regular season, the team that we ended up playing in the conference championship a week later. When I was at Stanford, we played against Arizona State, D-Max, his Sun Devils. We played against them and beat them at the end of the regular season, then went to their place in the Pac-12 championship game, and we beat them again on the way to the Rose Bowl. But there were challenges about it. There were more challenges than I thought. Schematics, maybe even communication. So there were some challenges, but getting your team up for that, the stakes are so significant. The Denver Nuggets, I feel like their effort has shown all of us probably one of the questions that we had. Do they really want to continue this season? And I think the answer is absolutely yes. And I think that the home court advantage tonight and having a fully motivated, and I would say a healthy Nikola Jokic and a Jamal Murray ultimately is going to make the difference.
Dan Tanner joins us. We now have 3 people in 3 different places in Ball Arena. DT, I'm going to open this up to everyone, but I want to start with you. What is your favorite Game 7 memory in your lifetime?
Okay, before we get to that, I've got to show you this, Raj. There is, I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, me and D-Mac are looking at it right now, Dan.
Yeah, it's
Clippers
bizarre.
fans chanting MVP as the Clippers are warming up. How the hell did they get in here so early?
They're
That's what I wanna
chanting
know.
MVP to Zubac, aren't they?
Yes, they are. And let me tell you, they just walked past Steve Ballmer. Steve Ballmer was on the court, and he just went through the tunnel.
Interesting.
And
for them to be here.
That's my guess.
Yes.
No joke. I bet you anything this is some sort of fan club that he paid to be here.
Yes,
Swear to God.
absolutely.
You're my all.
You're right. It wouldn't
You're
shock
my
me if he flew these chuckleheads in from L.A. just for this game. You're exactly right.
Well, he had to. There's not this many Clippers fans in the world.
No.
They're certainly not living here in Denver, and they're wearing red shirts and like Mr. Heatmiser blue. Like, I have no idea what it means, but it is a strange assortment of Clipper fans. But they all got the high sign from Steve Ballmer. So I'm going to guess I'm not even joking about this. I bet you he paid to get them here.
Oh, yeah.
No, I have my own conspiracy theory. I think that they're paid actors. They're paid actors that live in Colorado and just have no allegiances to either the Denver Nuggets or any hometown teams.
What's the amount of money, Mike Sanford? What is the amount of money that Steve Ballmer would have to pay you to don a Clippers jersey tonight and get inside Ball Arena?
Well, yeah, I'm not looking for meth, so I'm good, man. He can't buy me at the end of the day. So,
Oh, yeah, Mike.
DT, your favorite Game 7 memory of all time?
I mean, I would probably have to say, like, the Spurs series, because that was the first Jokic-era playoff series victory. So that's really kind of what kicked this whole thing off. That was really cool to see. Obviously, they ended up losing to Portland in the second round, but that's one of my favorites just because that was, in my mind, guys, sort of the start of the Jokic-Murray era in Denver, Colorado. So I'd have to go with that.
Berto, you've been doing this thing for 25 years, you silver-haired fox. You've seen almost all of the Game 7s. Your favorite?
Oh, that one's easy. Matter of fact, I was just about where Dan Tanner is right now in the summer of 2001, Game 7 Avs Devils, where the Avalanche won the Stanley Cup, and Joe Sakic hands the cup to Ray Bourque, who lifts it up over. I mean, that was whatever 24 years ago, and it still sticks with me to this day. That Game 7 had all the juice in the world, but that was obviously for the whole thing.
D-Mac, and you know what? I'll open this up for you. You can also add in AFC championship games. Game 7s and AFC title games, your favorite memory.
Nothing can top what Berto just mentioned in terms of the Game 7. I mean, it was awesome to be, watching the Broncos win the Super Bowl, obviously. And, I was there when they went to the AFC championship game twice and won. That was cool. But Berto's right. That Game 7 Avs Devils was ridiculous, Berto. And I was lucky enough to be in this arena for that one, too. Sorry. It's a boring answer because it's the same as Berto's, but it was like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Doesn't it feel like the Avs do have, and I don't mean to take it away from the Nuggets right now, but we do have two Game 7s, two completely different storylines. Doesn't it feel like the Avs have the best storyline since that 2001 Cup team?
You mean
Good
like?
question.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not gonna. I don't know, bro. The Nuggets beating the Heat. I don't care what game that was in. That was in this building a couple years too, and a lot of us were lucky enough to be there for that one too. So I don't know, man. And watching the, it's just so disappointing if we really want to think about it. That when Nathan McKinnon scored a hat trick, they weren't able to beat the Lightning in Game 5 here. You know what I'm saying? Like that would have maybe topped it all, but it didn't happen, and they won it the next game. But both teams got a great history, and this will add to the legacy today, a historic day, no doubt.
I think the storyline that you're bringing up, obviously, the game, Gabe Landeskog's returned. For me, I am nowhere near emotionally ready for this storyline to be over as it relates to the 2025 season. And I feel like the teammates of Gabe Landeskog, notably because he's their captain, their long-awaited prodigal son, not for bad reasons like the actual biblical prodigal son, but he's the guy that they've been waiting to come home, to return home, and they've been able to welcome him back out to the ice. And I think that there's power in that a teammate's not going to want to let him down on a night like tonight. The scary thing for me always is there's just something about the Dallas Stars, and particularly that building, that it gives me the heebie-jeebies.
DT, when we talk about the Nuggets this evening, obviously very hampered in terms of Michael Porter Jr.'s left shoulder. Is it working at 20%? Is it working at 30%? If you have to take Nikola Jokic out of the equation tonight, and actually I'm going to do this too, because it's easy to go to the two-man game. Remove number 27 Jamal Murray, remove number 15 Nikola Jokic. Who is the most important player on the court this evening?
Aaron Gordon. If you're taking out Murray and Jokic, Aaron Gordon, the Clippers defensively, guys, have a really difficult time guarding Aaron Gordon down in the painted area. They just don't have the bodies to do it. We've seen Aaron Gordon bullying dudes in that part of the floor. So if Aaron Gordon can be in the dunker spot a lot tonight and just play bully ball with the Clippers like we've seen throughout this series, that's going to be a huge key. And can we finally get the fast break transition game going a little bit? It's kind of been non-existent for both teams in this series, but Christian Brown, fellas, was the #1 scoring transition player in the NBA in the regular season. So can he get that part of his game going as well? That's going to be a huge key for the Nuggets to get a win in Game 7.
D-Mac, you've been all over these locker rooms all season long. Who is the coolest guy in the room? Typically, cooler heads prevail in Game 7s where emotions can get high. I always call professional athletes, they are mutant versions of human beings, but still humans at that same time, where emotions can play into it. You grip the stick, you try and force a three, you start overshooting, undershooting, something like that, or you take rebounds for granted. Who are the two coolest guys in the room that you can rely upon tonight for both of these teams?
If you want to win, the best players have to play the best in the biggest games. That cliche holds true. Coolest guys in the room for the Nuggets have to be Nikola and Jamal. It's as simple as that, no matter what. And they'll adjust perhaps to the Batum thing. I'm not really worried about that. And yeah, leaders got to be leaders. It's got to be Kale and Nate tonight, no doubt about it. And I'm telling you this, man, if you're feeling a little wishy-washy about Blackwood, take him out. Take him out.
Whoa,
Short leash.
Man, whoa.
Short leash.
You going to,
Whoa.
you
I
want to
agree
go
with
to
you, Mac.
Wedgwood in a Game 7, my man. Is that what you're telling me?
Short, I said short leash, but if it's 2-0 in the first 5 minutes, don't hesitate. I'm telling you.
I agree.
Wow.
I think there's something a little weird going on with Blackwood's head right now, and I wouldn't hesitate on that at all.
Desperate times call for desperate measures, and for Jared Bednar, I don't think this is a must-win personally, nor should it be, but man, the reality is if the Denver Nuggets, if they advance, and this ownership group who just moved on from Michael Malone looks at all the offseason acquisitions made by Chris McFarland, and you don't get out of the first round, I don't know. The conversation is going to be had on Monday, fellas. So if you're in a position where you're in a 2-0 hole, absolutely. Jared Bednar is going to do whatever he can to find a way to get to this team to the next series and then deal with the repercussions later.
That's Mike Sanford, Dan Tanner, D-Mac, and Berto. Alex Ryanemi live down here at Ryan House, 1415 Market Street, ahead of 2 Game 7s right here on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5. You are listening to the Altitude All Hands Game 7 playoff preview. It's a day that's only happened one other time in North American pro sports history. The same city has two teams competing in Game 7 on the same exact night, a 5:35 tip here in Denver between the Nuggets and the LA Clippers, and a 6:35, or rather a 6:20 puck drop Mountain Time between the Avs and the Dallas Stars out there in the Lone Star State. You can listen to the Nuggets game right here on 92.5. The Avs will be on our sister station, AM 950, but you can listen to that game crystal clear on the Altitude Sports Radio mobile app. Alex Ryan coming to you guys live from Ryan House, 1415 Market Street. This is your home. If you can't get inside the building tonight, watch party. We're giving away a bunch of signed swag, signed Avs and Nuggets photos. There's a signed Jamal Murray jersey as well as a signed stick from Nathan McKinnon. If you want to win any of those things, you must be live here. Again, Ryan House off of Market Street as we welcome you back into our Altitude All Hands Game 7 playoff preview. Darren McKee, you know him better as D-Mac, the coach, Mike Sanford, and Dan Tanner hanging out with me, fellas. We've been talking about nerves. We've been talking about anxieties, the best players for the Avs and Nuggets to step up here. I'm going to go back to the nervous part. D-Mac, who are you most nervous about on the opposite side tonight for both the Clippers and the Dallas Stars? Who are you most scared of?
Kawhi Leonard, if he's just unstoppable like we've seen, that has me the most nervous. And if they kind of bully Jamal too, and I guess that depends on who's on Jamal. It's been a couple of people, but Harden's been able to do that. But if Kawhi is just unconscious, that's probably going to be bad news. For the Stars, I'll just say Ottinger if he has one of them games, like kind of ridiculous. If the Avs pour on 38 shots and get like a goal or something like that, it puts them in a tough spot. So those are the two dudes that would make me the most nervous. By the way, I just want to note those Clippers fans. I got a very good birdie that said indeed confirmed.
They got paid?
Apparently, I've been told that is true, that the Clippers literally paid them to be here. How about that?
Nate Kreckman, as we welcome you in on the Ramos Law hotline. Nate, paid actors for the Clippers, man? What's going on with that?
I'm sorry, what now?
Apparently, Steve Ballmer paid a throng of LA Clippers fans to get inside the building tonight in Denver, and they were shouting MVP at him no less than 20 minutes ago.
That's kind of awesome, right? Like, I want that job. I want to get paid by an NBA owner to get to go to a game. That sounds fantastic.
Well, you kind of do.
Yeah, basically. No, that's a good point, yeah. I suppose I do get paid by an NBA owner to show up and scream.
That's fair.
Talk to me about how you're feeling today. I've been a mess today. I was a mess before Game 6 for the Avs. I was a mess this morning. It's getting worse as we get closer to tip and puck drop. Should I be this anxious?
No, it's going to be great. I picked it before the start of the series. Nuggets in 7, Avs in 7. Here we go. Let's do this. We're good to go. Denver's got this, man. The Nuggets have home court. The Avalanche are the better team. Everything's going to be okay, Raj. You can have a great night.
You got any ponies I should pick in the next 30 minutes?
I have none whatsoever. That part of it I cannot do for you.
What good are you, Nate Kreckman?
I don't know anything about horses. Guess what, though? The horses don't know anything about horses. It's the stupidest sport in the world. All the horses know is that they're hungry, all right? And
Nate, we love you,
smacking them on the ass and making them run as fast as they can possibly go, and somehow it's like the biggest international sporting event in the world, and everybody wears this stupid hat and gets drunk. That part of it I actually kind of enjoy, but the rest of it is absolutely idiotic.
Speaking about stupid hats and getting drunk, Brett Kane, what's up, brother?
Yeah, I feel like I would get called out. You know what I mean? That's really rude on behalf of Kreckman. Although he said he enjoyed that, so I guess we are on the same team.
Brett, I asked D-Mac when we came back in from the break. We were detailing the players that you can rely upon most for the Nuggets and the Avs tonight. And obviously, you get the McKinnons, the McCarrs, the Jokers, the Murrays. I wanted to flop it over to the other side. Who are you most scared about wearing a Clippers uniform, and who are you most scared about wearing a Dallas Stars uniform? And no, you can't say Jake Ottinger.
Okay, well, starting with the Clippers, it's, Harden's got this track record of not being good in the playoffs, and it's true. Like, his efficiency numbers really dip, and I think it's because he doesn't get the foul calls, and he doesn't get the things that kind of make him what he is during the regular season. But he can get hot at any time. And it's just kind of a matter of how much of a killer are you. And between him and I'll tell you what, Kawhi scares the hell out of me because it doesn't matter. You get a hand in his face. If he's 15 feet from the bucket, it's going in, it feels like. So those are two. I mean, I know they aren't like groundbreaking revelations that those are the two to be worried about. But on the star side, you said I can't take Ottinger. Okay, fine. I'm worried that Marchment or Ben or somebody's going to do something stupid that's going to fool a ref, put you in the box, and leave you at a disadvantage. If the Avs can stay 5-on-5 hockey, it's theirs today. And I hope that with a Game 7, whistles are going to get swallowed, but I'm worried that they're going to do one of those cells. If you saw Rycroft after the Game 6, he went on a whole 2.5-minute sort of diatribe on different things that happened during the series. I just hope that doesn't happen. So those are the ones I'm worried about.
Did you hear DMAC found out today that Ty Lue, as well as Peter DeBoer, both of these coaches undefeated in Game 7s?
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, and here's the thing. You can look at it one of two ways. That's a skill that you have, and DeBoer's got a whole host of them, so it's a lot better to argue on that part for him. Or it's just some sort of anomaly, and it's let's play like the game of percentages. What are you going to go 15-0 in Game 7s? If you do, then you know what? You're an all-timer. Maybe you're due.
Or you have the triumphant return of LeBron James in his prime in Cleveland.
Well, yeah.
If you're Tyronn Lue. I mean, that's the reason, right? I mean, what has Tyronn Lue accomplished in his playoff record outside of the years with the Cavs?
Yeah, I guess I was speaking more towards the DeBoer part of it. Yeah, Ty Lue, I don't think has all that much of a resume when it comes to that stuff. Yeah, good for him. Won a championship, but he did have LeBron. The DeBoer thing is weird, though, because it's not just that, Raj. You know this as well as anybody else, that his record against Bednar is really good. And so it's one of two things. Like, can you break the tide tonight on both of those categories? He's great in Game 7s, and he seems to have had Bednar's number throughout their careers as coaches. We'll see. And I think, just to be clear, I think there's a really good shot. I think that you get the momentum from Game 6. You played a game in which Ottinger's probably telling himself, hey, a couple of lucky bounces went against us, but the Avs have been saying that all series. I feel good about the Avs tonight.
Coach Sanford, is the player that you're most scared about wearing number 4 for the Denver Nuggets?
Yeah, I just want to see a healthy dose of Russell Westbrook, because too much Russell Westbrook down the stretch scares the living crap out of me. I think it scares the crap out of all of us. He's got to take care of the basketball. And in fact, I think the most important statistic for the Nuggets tonight is going to be you can be under 12 turnovers. I think you win this basketball game. You know, in the event that this team is just ice cold shooting the basketball, that'd be the only outlier where not turning the ball over and giving the basketball and opportunities to Kawhi Leonard and James Harden and Ivica Zubac to get hot. I think the Nuggets are the better team. I think the Nuggets are going to play better in this critical moment because they have players that have done it and done it recently, as opposed to James Harden, who just frankly hasn't done it historically throughout his career. Kawhi Leonard's the guy that scares the hell out of me. And what I go back to, I think you got to outwork. You've got to outwork James Harden and Kawhi Leonard, and that's going to be Christian Brown, as I heard Dan Tanner talking about, defensively, using your athleticism and length to create transition basketball. The guy that I'm excited about tonight, and I think he's going to have a great performance and doing a lot of the little things, is Peyton Watson. I want to see more Peyton Watson minutes so that you can get out and transition, and I think he can be pivotal in stopping this two-headed monster out on the perimeter of Kawhi Leonard and James Harden, because if all three of those players get hot, including the guy I'm drawing a blank on 24, the other perimeter guy for the Clippers.
Powell.
My guy Norman. Norm Powell. Those three guys get hot. This team's tough to deal with, but that's why you got to be locked in defensively. And I think Christian Brown and Peyton Watson are those two players.
A healthy dose of Peyton Watson, Dan Tanner?
He's been okay in this series. He had a pretty good Game 6. Look, defensively, yes. Peyton Watson has been this team's best shot blocker for the last 2 years, fellas. So yeah, they could use this, but I just want to go back real quick to what Brett said about James Harden, because Brett, you are right. James' numbers slip in the playoffs, but I will say James Harden historically, guys, has always had like one really bad game per series. And unfortunately for the Nuggets, that was Game 5. I'm not expecting James Harden to have another game like that. Now, is he going to go off tonight? I don't think so, but he could have. He's not going to have a Game 5. So that that is something that, is concerning for me tonight. And they're going to have to really, really D up on him on the perimeter.
Does the fact that David Adelman he doesn't have, obviously, the Game 7 experience as a head coach. He's only coached, 9 games now in the NBA by himself. Does that help or hurt the Nuggets right now in terms of not having Michael Malone behind the bench, but you also don't have that star tissue from last year?
I mean, at least he's been there, he's been there with Malone. It's not like he's just coming into this cold turkey, you know what I'm saying? So he's been on the bench in these situations, but you're right, Raj. It's a different scenario when you're the guy making all the calls. You're calling the timeouts. You're drawing up the plays. This is a huge test for Adelman. And if he passes, guys, that's one step closer to possibly getting the full-time gig. Who knows?
All right, fellas, we're coming down to it. D-Mac, we'll start with you. I need game predictions for both of these Game 7s. Nuggets and Clippers first, Avs and Stars second. Give it to me.
I'll go Nuggets 127, Clippers 117, something like that. Actually, hold on. Let me go back. I'm sorry. Nuggets 107, Clippers 97, something like that. It'll be a tighter game. It'll be more physical, that sort of thing. And the Avs are just a better team than Dallas. And
you almost hit the score on the head in Game 6, dude. You were like a goal away from Game 6.
It just felt it was going to be loose like that, and it was. I'll go Avs 4, Stars 2 with an empty netter as I watch Jamal Murray with his daughter, very cute, take her off the court. Aaron Gordon just finished his warm-up. So Jamal was playing with his daughter on the court before Game 5 and had a great game, and he was just hanging out. He's about to jog off the court. By the way, he's getting booed by the paid Clippers fans. That's happening right now. Paid Clippers fans are booing Jamal Murray.
From Jamal and his daughter to a guy who named his daughter Jamal Kale. Brett Kane, predictions.
By the way, I asked this question before we got into the weekend. I said, did they actually pay seat fillers? Turns out it's true. Okay, so D-Mac, when you said 120, I was like, oh, my God, I don't think it's going to get that high. But
yeah.
The number you said, I think, at the end is right around the money. I would say something like 108 to 100, something like that. Nuggets win.
Something like that.
And I like the same thing with the Avs. I just think the Avs are better. I think it's going to be tight because every game has been tight so far. I'll say 5-3. 5-3 with an empty netter, and I'll do a little bonus. I think Brock Nelson gets a goal tonight.
Oh, my guy, Mike Sanford. Give it.
Hot take.
Pain, torture. We've had so much of it in both of these series, and we're going to have a whole hell of a lot more of it tonight. It's going to be Jamal Murray hitting a buzzer beater in overtime, and it's going to be Nuggets 114, Clippers 112 for the buzzer beater.
Wow.
And on the other side, we're going to get not just 2 Game 7s at the same time. We're getting overtime playoff hockey in a Game 7.
You can't do that to my heart.
It's going to be the Colorado Avalanche winning. Gabe Landeskog is going to get a deflection off his beak. 4-3 Avs in overtime over the Stars, and you slay the Dragon.
That's Coach Mike Sanford out there in Las Vegas. Dan Tanner, the host of In the Paint. Give me your predictions.
I'm supposed to follow up Mike's awesome, statement right there, guys. Thanks a lot, Mike. But hey, look, Joker hasn't had a monster Joker game in this series yet, guys. I think that ends tonight. He's been really good in this series, but he hasn't had a monster Joker type of game in this series yet. I think that happens tonight. I'm with you guys. I think it'll be 105-97, something like that. The Nuggets will get the win. The home court will push them through. And then I'm with Mike. I think Avs Stars Game 7 is destined to go to overtime. I'm going with Cale Makar getting from the point, a point shot. Ottinger doesn't see it. The Avs win 3-2 in overtime.
There it is, your Altitude All Hands Game 7 playoff preview has come and gone. Coming up on the other side, Network Pregame with Mark Bertnolli's coming up next. Dueling Game 7s here in the Mile High City on Altitude Sports Radio.